Kubor ka Batesi TV. Lawan da Ashapi da ka Orange Nissan Lumso po near Fire Brigade Shillong.
Ringkat lang bakari India hi baro kawai. Kajala Meghalaya ru hakakat santari ubnai nailar arajar arpuai kalaraki yaga singi lailoi kabah nyopu sansnem jong kari India bad hanong ba Shillong o menteri rang ba jong kajala Konrad Kongkel sangma ula penher ya kalama lairong jong kari India harengkat kajing sakilang jong ki kinrem ki lendan bad ki head officer jong ke sarkar jela. Hagani gasni Menteri Rang Ba ula pelai pai baru ya kot kabala ai kerteng celebrating India at 75th kabadai kot kabala penmi de kajing trai sitom jong katanan arts and culture but ka Synod College Management Authority lembat ke Meghalaya Freedom Song kum shibenta kajing rakhe jong kari India ya kajing dap kabahanyo pusan snem hakajing yo light loy. Nang tadi susu Menteri Rang Ba ula pun ko burom ye ki nong trei jong katanat ka koi ka khia ki bala trei sitom me labat sngi banya khun thma persha yo khnyang jingpang COVID-19 la sakhiru bo Menteri Rang Ba hagani ka sngi ula samru ye ki khusnam jong ka Meghalaya Health Insurance bat ka Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana sha ka Mausan Ram CHC ka Light Lingkot PHC bat ye ka ding ye PHC halor ka jingkeu shaprang hakawaya dei bat Today's
chief guest, the Honorable Chief Minister of Meghalaya, Shri of Development, with emphasis on education, health, sports, entrepreneurship and environment. In the last 4 years, he has demonstrated the vision of the state by formulating policies and accommodating the aspirations of the people. Under his dynamic leadership, the state has embarked on various flagship interventions that would take Meghalaya on the path of progress and prosperity.
Sustainability, ecological sensitivity, and living in harmony with nature. He anticipated pressing challenges of our time. Let us recall another quote from the father of our nation, and I quote, "If we could change ourselves, the tendencies in the world would also change. As a man changes his own nature, so does the attitude of the world change towards him. We need not wait,
but apt to remember the tryst with destiny as on the eve of first Independence Day. I quote, "Long years ago we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge, not wholly, in full measure, but very substantially. At the stroke of the midnight hour when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom. A moment come which comes but rarely in history, when we step out from the old to the new, when an age ends and when the soul of a nation long suppressed finds utterance. It is fitting that at this solemn moment, we take the pledge of dedication to the service of India and her people and to the still larger cause of humanity." Unquote.
Kum shibentaru jong kani ka jingrakhe lapan benaru hagani ka sngi yeki polit ki bala yo pediang yeki khusnam ba pher yeki baka sarkar kala itho yo sunyang ubenhei bakila no show sup uthiar jong katanat polit but kum joru ha ki officer polit jong ka Meghalaya and Home Guards and Civil Defence.
Ladies and gentlemen, approaching the dais now with the three contingents participating in today's Independence Day parade. Leading the three contingents, we have today's parade commander, Assistant Commandant N. Subhaj Singh, followed by the two IC of today's parade, Inspector Rajan Bordloy. The first marching contingent taking the salute is the contingent of the Border Security Force, led by Sub-Inspector Rupendra Dhabai. On the heels of the BSF, we have the contingent from the Central Reserve Police Force, led by Sub-Inspector Rajbir Singh. At number 3, following the CRPF, ladies and gentlemen, we have the contingent from the SF-10, led by Sub-Inspector Ibandalen Walang.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a loud round of applause for the striking display of parade at this celebration, the result of untiring efforts put in these past few days.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a round of applause for the band from the Border Wing Home Guards? Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Samiksha Kram, or the 14 steps forward. That was the general salute in honor of the chief guest.
My dear Megalayans, on this momentous occasion of the 75th Independence Day, I convey my heartfelt greetings to all of you. Today, we remember and pay homage to our freedom fighters and founding leaders of the world's greatest democracy. Mahatma Gandhi, who taught us the lessons of truth and non-violence. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who united this country. Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar, who gave us our constitution. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, who raised the first Indian National Army, Azad Hind Fauj. Jawaharlal Nehru, for his vision of a new industrialized India, and many known and unknown names. We also salute the sacrifices of the patriots from Meghalaya, like U Tirot Singh, U Kyang Nangba, Pathogan Sangma, for their courage and commitment towards freedom. These three heroes are being honored through various programs as part of the India at 75 celebrations. 74 years ago, on this day, we declared our independence from a distant invader. But today, our fight is against a deadly virus. Since the onset of COVID-19, we have had more than 71,000 positive cases. We have also lost more than 1,200 lives. I take this opportunity to salute our frontline healthcare workers, doctors, nurses, volunteers, community leaders, religious leaders, police personnel, municipal workers, political representatives, and district administration teams who selflessly risk their lives every day to serve others in need. To those who have suffered and lost their near and dear ones, I would like to extend my sincere condolences. Friends, since the beginning of this pandemic, we have followed a collaborative approach in dealing with every challenge by involving the community leaders, localities, religious institutions, and above all, the people of the state. Through this process, we have been able to deal with the various issues and reduce the suffering of our citizens. We are still in the second wave of the pandemic. Though the number of cases today is on the decline compared to the peak in May 2021, our positivity rates continue to be high. we need to be extremely vigilant and follow all the COVID-19 protocols. Most importantly, we need to increase vaccination coverage. The state opened up to COVID-19 vaccination for people over 18 years and above from the 14th of May 2021. COVID Shield vaccine is being administered free of cost in the government vaccination centers. Despite the understanding that COVID-19 vaccination is crucial for protection against severe disease and death, the progress of COVID-19 vaccination in the state is sadly unsatisfactory. As on date, 47% of eligible individuals have taken at least their first dose. There is considerable vaccine hesitancy in the state, especially in the rural areas, largely due to misinformation. Along with vaccine hesitancy, the state is also confronted with refusal for testing and delays in seeking medical attention by infected persons. Studies and statistics world over, as well as practical evidence, have indicated that the impact of COVID-19 has not been severe on persons who have been vaccinated. Vaccines give protection from serious illness and death. While the government has been making all efforts to control the pandemic, significant impact can be achieved only with the cooperation of the community and the residents. Please wear your masks correctly, keep distance from others, wash or sanitize your hands frequently, and vaccinate yourself immediately. Let us be responsible, not only for our safety, but more so for the safety of our near and dear ones. The state government has decided to award the first 100 villages which achieve full vaccination coverage of eligible population by the 31st of August 2021. An amount of rupees 5 lakhs will be given to every such village for carrying out development work. Friends, since the outbreak of COVID-19 in early 2020, the state government has upgraded the infrastructure of several health facilities. The number of beds has been increased. Oxygen facilities have also been set up in district hospitals and community health centers in view of the importance of medical oxygen for management of COVID-19 patients. Medical gas pipelines and PSA oxygen generation plants have been installed at various hospitals. A cryogenic oxygen plant is now operational at Umsauli, East Khasi Hills, and another is ready to be inaugurated at Jingzal, West Karo Hills. Fortunately, we did not face any severe shortage of oxygen during the peak period of the second wave. In addition to upgrading the health infrastructure, we have taken a number of relief measures. Last year, during the first wave of the pandemic, we provided monetary support to registered and unregistered laborers and other workers. Monetary support to the citizens who got stranded in other states. Arranged transport for them to Meghalaya and provided support to community quarantine centers. We also distributed provision kits to the quarantined and positive case households. We set up quarantine and corona care centers across the state. This year, during the second wave, we continued with the running of the quarantine and corona care centers and the distribution of provision kits. Further, given the unfortunate increase in the number of fatalities, we are providing an ex gratia payment of rupees 50,000 to the family members of the deceased. We have also enhanced the coverage of Meghalaya Health Insurance Scheme to reduce the out-of-pocket expenditure for the hospitalized individuals and regulated the rates of COVID-19 treatment by private hospitals. Despite of COVID-19 pandemic, our focus on basic healthcare services and maternal and child health has remained strong. With 90% coverage during 2021, Meghalaya has ranked second in the country in routine immunization. Through focused monitoring under the Mother program, the institutional deliveries have increased in 9 out of the 11 districts last year. We have also started a rescue mission to save the lives of mothers, neonates, and infants. Under the Government of India Maternity Benefit Program, cash incentives of rupees 5,000 were given in 3 installments to 31,800 beneficiaries over the last 3 years. A comprehensive program for the infrastructure upgradation of all the 659 health facilities is being implemented with the support from the World Bank. 340 health facilities are being upgraded to Ayushman Bharat Health and Wellness Centers. We have also launched telemedicine and teleconsultation services to enhance our health facility coverage in rural areas. Along with health, education forms the core of human development. Many challenges remain in primary, secondary, and higher education sectors. We have undertaken a range of steps to address several of the issues with particular focus on infrastructure upgradation. The construction of 39 EMRS schools has been initiated. At present, the construction of 2 EMRS at Pahamsiem in Ribhoy and Samanda in East Karo Hills are at an advanced stage. For the remaining EMRS, works are under various stages of implementation. The upgradation of infrastructure at another 208 schools has also been taken up this year through the state's budget. In higher and technical education, the Shillong College of Engineering, College of Architecture and Urban Planning, Tura, the Captain Williamson Sangma Technical University, the Patharkama Model Degree College, and the Rongjeng Model Degree College are near completion and will be operationalized soon. I'm optimistic that all of these efforts shall lead to comprehensive improvement in the education sector. Dear citizens, since the MDA government came to power, we have been prioritizing development, and I am confident and proud to say that this government is living up to its promises on the delivery of developmental services. We have set for ourselves a very ambitious target of transforming Meghalaya into one of the top 10 Indian states in terms of per capita income and achievement of sustainable development goals within the next 10 years. In my last Independence Day speech, I launched the Restart Meghalaya mission, promising an investment of rupees 14,515 crores in various critical sectors. I am happy to report that many of these investments are being done, and some of these investments are already showing results. In the last 2 years, we have completed the construction of about 1,000 kilometers of rural roads under the PMGSY program. Another 1,850 kilometers of roads will be completed in the next 2 years. Alongside rural roads, we are investing about rupees 1,700 crores in major roads and bridges. Critical roads like the Bajingdoba Resu Mindipattar Damra Road, the Umling Patarkama Road, the Pasya Garampani Road, the Mairang Rani Godown Road, and the Rongram Pulbari Hill Road are under construction and will be completed by the end of 2022. Iconic bridges constructed at the Umkod River in West Jentia Hills, Shela River in East Khasi Hills, and Damrung River in North Karo Hills. Work on 2 key national highway projects is underway: 2-laning from Tura Dalu Road of National Highway 51, covering a total of 54 kilometers, and improving of National Highway 40 between Shillong and Dauki, and construction of Dauki Bridge covering a total length of 80 kilometers. In water supply, we have a very ambitious vision of providing functional tap connections to 5.9 lakh households in the state by the end of 2022. Of these, we have already completed 1.33 lakhs, which is over 25% of the target. This aggressive implementation of the Jal Jeevan Mission is transforming the lives of the people. For instance, in Rikhen village in Mairang block, West Khasi Hills, women and children have been freed from the drudgery of fetching water from far away springs, thanks to the functional household tap connections provided in all the 145 households. We want to bring such transformation and comfort to our women and children across the rural areas of the state. Recently, the Greater Sora Water Supply Scheme, constructed with an investment of rupees 24 crores, was inaugurated. Friends, the availability of quality and reliable power supply is crucial for all, including farmers, small businesses, and large industries. Unfortunately, the sector has faced persistent challenges on account of the financial liabilities that had accumulated over the last 10 years. These liabilities have been crippling the entire sector. My government had to take the bold step of availing a loan of rupees 1,345 crores under the Government of India's Atmanirbhar scheme to clear all the pending liabilities. We have also made a detailed action plan for reducing the aggregate transmission and distribution losses, along with improving our billing and collection efficiencies over the next 3 years. The construction of the 22.5 megawatt Ganol hydroelectric project is progressing well. In 2022, we will be able to generate power in Garo Hills and fulfill a long-held aspiration of the region. We are also making efforts to set up solar power projects to diversify the energy mix of the state. Several other critical infrastructure projects are getting implemented at a fast pace. We intend to complete these projects well before the Golden Jubilee celebration of our statehood in January next year. These include the new Assembly Building, the Shillong International Center for Performing Arts and Culture, and the IT Park in New Shillong Township. Various schemes under the Shillong Smart City Project, the Tribal Research Institute at Babadam, West Garo Hills, and the P.A. Sangma Football Stadium at Tura. Recently, we inaugurated the interstate bus terminus at Maulai Moyong. As we gear up to celebrate the Golden Jubilee of the statehood, this government wants to do something fundamental for the farmers and producers of the state. With this vision, we launched a comprehensive program called Focus. Farmers collectivization for upscaling production and marketing systems. This program aims at collectivization of farmers into producer groups, FPOs, and cooperatives. Under the program, over the next 15 months, rupees 5,000 will be provided to every farming household for taking up activities related to value chain development. This funding will be provided as a corpus to the producer groups. An amount of rupees 200 crores will be spent on the Focus program. The pilot phase of the program has been successfully implemented with the formulation of over 2,200 new producer groups comprising of about 30,000 farmers. An amount of about rupees 12 crores has already been credited into the bank accounts of the producer groups. New initiatives in horticulture include the focus on citrus revival, development of bee value chain, promoting floriculture, and increasing vegetable production. Centers of excellence are being set up for citrus at Dawagri in East Garo Hills and for vegetables at Jongsha in East Khasi Hills and for bee development at Sambrak in North Garo Hills. Another aspiration for our state is to be completely organic by 2030. The Bioresources Development Center at Upper Shillong has been declared as a state nodal agency for organic certification. Fisheries and aquaculture are key sources of income generation in Meghalaya. We continue to implement Meghalaya State Aquaculture Mission 2.0, in addition to area expansion and increasing production development of fish sanctuaries is also being prioritized. Leveraging our state's strengths in rearing livestock, we have been implementing the piggery mission and the milk mission successfully. Under the piggery mission, 95 cooperative societies and 1,367 producers have been sanctioned interest-free loans for breeding and fattening. The process of obtaining the geographical indication for Meghalaya's unique Eri, the Rindia Peace Silk, is under process. An issue that plagues all rural farmers in the state is access to credit. With limited penetration of banks in rural Meghalaya and COVID-19 pandemic, our farmers are facing extreme hardship in accessing banking services. Unfortunately, it has become a common sight to see long queues of villagers, particularly women, sometimes with infants, waiting for hours together in front of banks, either to deposit or withdraw cash. Such hardships are not acceptable in this information technology age. We are working on expanding the banking network in rural areas. 19 new branches are planned to be opened by the end of 2021-22. As an alternative, we have been working on a model of deploying banking correspondents to provide banking services at the doorstep of rural people. 185 such banking correspondents equipped with micro ATMs and covering over 800 unbanked villages have been deployed so far. These banking correspondents are solving the last mile access problem very effectively, while generating employment for themselves. For instance, Kong Boklinsha Kharwanyang, a BC agent deployed in Mokurwat block of Southwest Khasi Hills, earned a commission of rupees 1.96 lakhs while providing banking services to several villages. I compliment all the 185 BCs, the State Rural Livelihood Society, and the Meghalaya Rural Bank for building this successful model. The state spent 1,370 crores on the scheme in 2020-21. Several successful models of community project implementation and asset creation have emerged under the program. For instance, the Luang village, Morankneng block, East Khasi Hills, a project was undertaken to construct a check dam to preserve water resources and indigenous fish species. The area, once used as a dumping ground, is now transformed into a huge water resource, which has helped in revival of indigenous fish population and enabled construction of irrigation channels for farmers. This is a classic example of how Meghalaya is achieving the objective of rural wage employment while simultaneously building infrastructure to provide the quality of life of the people, to improve the quality of the life of the people. I take this opportunity to congratulate the community and rural development team, including all our block development officers and grassroots staff, for consistently making Meghalaya one of the best performers in the country under the MGNREGS program over the last 3 years. To create self-employment for women, the self-help group movement is being prioritized. Under the National Rural Livelihood Mission, over 32,000 self-help groups are functional, and majority of these groups have been formed over the last 3 years. These SHGs are bringing about a sea change in the empowerment of women and promoting economic and social development in the rural areas. The third priority group of this government, alongside women and farmers, is the youth of the state. In our state, 85% of the population is under 45 years of age. 74% is under 35 years, and 59% is under 25 years of age. This large proportion of the young population, if provided the right opportunities, could become the key agents of social change, economic development, and technological innovation. Taking due cognizance of this, the state youth policy was approved recently. It lays out a detailed framework for engaging and empowering the 12 lakh young people of the state in the age group of 15 to 29 years. Another area of importance for youth is sports. And in the last few weeks, we witnessed the youth of the country put up their best ever performance at the Tokyo Olympics. I would like to take this opportunity and congratulate all our medal winners whose performances have made us all proud. I am also, however, saddened for not having any athlete from our state on the National Olympic squad. I am determined that we should at least have a few of our athletes on the Paris Olympic squad in 2024. Today, I make a commitment to our athletes and the sports associations and that the government will do everything possible to achieve this dream. We have already started building world-class sports infrastructure at Shillong East Khasi Hills, Tura West Garo Hills, and Vaijer West Gente Hills. Rural infrastructures, including football grounds, running tracks, and basketball courts, are being constructed across various locations in the state. A fundamental concern for the youth is employment. The youth unemployment rate in urban areas in Meghalaya at 23.1% is higher than the national rate of 20.02%, while the rural rate of 8.9% is much lower than the national rate of 17.3%. We are focusing on skill development and entrepreneurship promotion to deal with the challenges of unemployment. In the last 3 years, more than 41,000 youths were trained in sectors like fashion, retail, and hospitality under the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana program. 10 out of 12 ITIs in the state have been upgraded during the last 2 years. Given the pandemic and the uncertainties in the labor market, we are concentrating on skill development for the local economy in agri and allied sectors. Our fundamental priority now is to create quality tourism infrastructure in various places. The much-awaited Crowborough Hotel in the heart of Shillong will be operational by the end of the year. The construction of luxury resorts at Sakala Duma in Nokrek, West Garo Hills, and at Shnong Padeng, West Gente Hills, has been initiated. New resorts are planned at Sora and Lightlum in East Khasi Hills, Umling and Maulindep, Riboy, and at Balpakram National Park in South Garo Hills. Holistic development of tourism infrastructure will also be undertaken in villages with high tourism potential, like Kongthong in East Khasi Hills, Kudemgring in Darang in West Gente Hills, Shnongrim in East Gente Hills, Nongknum and Mautarashan in West Khasi Hills, Jakrem and Nongna in Southwest Khasi Hills, Siju in South Garo Hills, Dalmagri in Southwest Garo Hills, Bansamgre in East Garo Hills, and Resubelpara in North Garo Hills, and others. Efforts are also on to improve the air connectivity to the state. Currently, we already have direct flights from Umroi to Calcutta, New Delhi, Silchar, Agartala, and Imphal. We are hopeful that with improved connectivity and infrastructure, the tourism sector will achieve its potential and go on to become the main driver of growth and employment generation. I am happy to inform you that the Union Government is supporting us in our natural resource management endeavour. Recently, the Honourable Union Home Minister, Shri Amit Shah Ji, inaugurated the Sora Eco Restoration Project, which aims at increasing the green cover and providing green livelihoods to the 45 villages in Sora area. Friends, I would like to once again appeal to all of you to follow the COVID-19 protocols and get vaccinated. I would like to reaffirm that vaccines work and are effective against preventing the spread and reducing the fatality associated with COVID-19. Data from Meghalaya itself validates this. Almost 92% of the people who lost their lives over the last 4 months were unvaccinated. These unfortunate casualties could have been avoided had they received vaccinations on time. With our collective efforts, I am hopeful that we can overcome the pandemic in the coming months. Friends, the year 2022 is of great significance for the state as we celebrate the Golden Jubilee of statehood. I have requested the Honourable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi Ji, for the grand celebration, and that we plan to organize at Shillong on the 21st of January 2022. And I have invited him to be the chief guest of that function. As we move towards that milestone, my government and I are committed to lead Meghalaya and its 38 lakh citizens into a better future. A future that where everyone has the opportunities for individual fulfillment and to contribute to the common good.
Dawn that breaks into the Indian sky. Freedom. Đây chính ý lại trong khi răng nòng xanh. Để mình xem nhắc hôn u lót son già ranh như lòng cùng Đây chính sao tar trong u man hốt pan ot. Sa có pan nong lạnh padu siêm tirat ila. Panino tha, yaki put pan roy, pan rang ching